There it is.
Hey everybody, what's up?
What's up?
Welcome to our Monday group coaching with the lovely April Marie Tucker.
Woo!
And we are Matt and April Finley. I think you guys know us, but names on here. What's in? Hey, Cliff Evans. And we see Diana and Susan and hey, Samuel.
Hey, Samuel.
What's up, everybody? Glad you guys can make it out tonight. We're happy to have you. And April says that we are going to talk about content tonight. So I hope that gets you guys excited. And if you have any questions that you want us to cover in the training tonight, make sure that you type it in the chat. And we'll get to your questions. We're going to try to keep things about to an hour tonight and keep things moving along. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to April.
I'll pass it over to me. Yeah, I might have to pass it back to you because I just remembered I need my USB cord. So yeah, so we're going to talk about content. Hopefully you guys have your questions. We also, just to kind of update people that are brand new to our coaching sessions, these are to help support you. So these are basically where you can come get the support that you need. If you have questions, you need help with something, this is where you come and you get all those, the hands-on help that you need. Of course, you know, you can always reach out to one of the leaders and stuff like that too, but this is a great place for you if you're struggling and you're not getting the results that you want, especially. And I always look at it this way: 90% of success is showing up. And I say 90%, I know the saying is 80%, but I truly believe 90% is it. And for me, like when I first started my business, calls like this, hangouts, webinars, whatever you want to call them, were my lifeline. They were like my lifeline. Without them, my business was not moving anywhere. It wasn't going, it wasn't even, the burning desire was just the flame was out. So it was really, really, really critical for me to make sure that I'm plugging in through, MLSP, my MLM company, my hangouts, the stuff that I'm doing. And now, of course, yes, I run my own hangouts, but even then, it's still very critical for my success that I'm showing up to these, because believe me, the teacher always learns the most. And these are very, very critical to my success as well. So if you're the first time here, I want to give a special welcome to you. I know Samuel's brand new. I think he's a few weeks in now. And of course, anybody that's watching this, because this goes out as well as a recording. And I always post the recordings as well in our Facebook group. So you want to make sure that you are plugged in to our MLSP mastermind group. I'm going to be doing some name changing. We are going to call ourselves the Freedom Posse. I know In Your Face Posse was April's pick, but I didn't want to be getting in anybody's face, so I didn't want to be getting in your...
It's too aggressive, isn't it? She's too
aggressive. She's an aggressive one. You better look out for her. But so Freedom Posse is what I've decided to call all you people.
Samson?
Oh.
All the peeps on here. So our team is going to be called the Freedom Posse. And what is a posse? A posse is, in my mind, a posse is like a team. It's people that are there supporting each other. They got each other's backs. They're running together, right? So that's what a posse in my mind is, and that's why I call it posse. And then of course, freedom just really fit with what we're on a mission to do, is create more freedom for more people. So sound like a good name to me. What do you guys think? Type in the chat if you like it. I'm just kind of curious what everybody thinks about that. I know we don't have everybody on right now, but April, do you mind just really quick messaging the Facebook group, just letting people know?
I just did already.
Oh, you're awesome.
Yeah, I did to you already.
Thank you. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is content marketing. I also want to run the Freedom Posse thing, by you guys. I think it's an awesome name. But of course, that could be just me. And then also, too, want to start a content marketing challenge with you guys. I've already started. I've been on pretty much blitzing for the last few weeks, and I plan on doing that. I mean, we're heading up to the busiest season in our industry, and it is true. September, usually end of September, I notice that's when it starts, and then it just goes right on into December. And then, of course, when you got the holidays, so you got a little bit of a break, but then right after the holidays, you got January 1st, and everybody's looking to change their life come January 1st. So you want to make sure you're hitting the ground right now, running and working in your business, like you need to anyways, and getting that momentum going, so that way, once that momentum's going, it's carrying you in. And one of the fastest ways to do that is developing a content marketing strategy, being out there creating content on a consistent basis in your business. And I find that, you know, guys, one thing I will tell you about me, I'm very persistent and I'm very consistent. Okay. And I persist until, in fact, I've been having a really hard time getting my refrigerator here. It's been stressing the crap out of me because they lost it. I'm not kidding you. So I've been on the phone. I mean, I'm just nailing the phone, calling these people. I'm mad, right? Sears lost my refrigerator. And so I'm so persistent. I know I'm driving these people crazy because I don't quit. And I'm the same way in my business. You have to be persistent. We keep going until whenever we keep going, okay? And then consistency is key. So I know, like, content, guys, it's like creating content. This is how it is at first. You know, you create the content and all you hear is crickets. You don't hear anything. Nobody's really saying much to you. You feel like you're not getting leads. And there's a lot of work that goes into content. I'm not going to lie. You know, I mean, if you're doing Instagram, it might be a little less. If you're doing Twitter, however it is that you're doing it, might be a little less or a little more. If you're doing blogging, it's probably a little more. If you're doing video and blogging, it's probably, you know, and so it kind of balances. It doesn't balance out. One or the other is always going to be a little bit more, right? But sometimes it's a little discouraging. So I want you to expect that. You are going to feel discouraged sometimes if you are creating content, you're putting your marketing out there, even your leads, your lead funnels for MLSP. If you're putting it out there and you're not getting any leads, it can be a little discouraging. And expect that. I just want you guys to I'm going to put it out there now and just say expect it, because if you don't, you're going to set yourself up for feeling discouraged and feeling inadequate and you know, all anxiety about it and all this stuff. And eventually, if you let it get to you, you might end up quitting. And I've been there. I've felt like quitting because I felt discouraged before, right? So I just want you guys to just know that that's how it is in the beginning. Creating content is not something that all of a sudden is like magic. You're going to start getting results. Boom. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen, though, is that you're going to start getting your name out there. And so it's inch by inch. Each day you create a piece of content and a little bit more, it just builds on top of itself. So really content, really what it does is it builds on top of itself until one day you've got this big tower and city full of content. Then people are contacting you and wanting to work with you, you know, and obviously you're generating leads and stuff like that on a consistent basis. I would say, you know, sometimes people are like, well, how long? I can't really say how long does it take. For everybody's different. Everybody has different growth. I feel like everybody has a different growth pattern, first of all. So I can't really say one person or the other is going to be faster or it's going to happen in 90 days for one or 30 days. And I always give people the 90-day time frame. 90 days of consistent effort. And I mean, you really being consistent and persistent is usually that's a good groundwork right there. That's a really good foundation for you to really catapult your business and really kickstart it and go right into momentum. So that's why I say 90 days, because everybody's different. It could be sooner, it could be, I always say within 90 days, okay? But I'm not going to guarantee it. Of course, please don't hold me to that if it doesn't happen for you.
It's your fault.
I know. But the thing is people, see, there's so many variables, and the only reason why it a lot of the times, like if somebody they hit that 90-day mark, I've never seen this happen, by the way. But if it was to happen, somebody hit the 90-day mark and they were like, oh, April was consistent, I did content every day and all this stuff. They didn't do something right. Something happened. There's just no way. You know what I mean? To me, sometimes people will slack off and all of a sudden they're gone for a week or something like that. Well, guess what? You start your 90 days over when you come back. That doesn't mean you just pick up where you left off. It doesn't work that way. You're going to go 90 days. You need to go 90 days. And so whatever that commitment is to you, because I'm blitzing right now. My blitz is definitely 90 days. I started actually when my kids went back to school, beginning first week of August. So I'm just blitzing, okay? Because I know this is the busiest time. I'm just going to blitz the whole time. It's up to you. If you want to do a 30-day blitz, if you want to do a 60, you want to do a 90, you want to do a 2-week, whatever. I'm not here to be your boss. I'm just saying, hey, we're a posse. Let's run together and let's do this. So I want to give you guys some ideas for content. I also wanted to kind of fill any gaps that maybe people are missing. So I hope you guys brought your questions tonight. Let's see here. Freedom Tribe. Yes, we're getting a late start. I see a lot of people promoting their business on their personal profile. Huh. I don't see that. I don't look though. But anyways, so yeah, so I'm gonna open up the Q&A, and as I'm kind of just talking, and I told April and Matt they gotta help me, because April and Matt are actually going through Mark Harbert's course right now. They took action and picked that up, and I think Lisa did too. I don't know if she's on right now. So you guys picked that up, and I know you guys are you guys doing any type of like challenge, or you're just gonna do the blitz with us?
You actually kind of blurred out there for a sec. So you said we picked up, what did we pick up?
Mark Harbert's thing.
Yeah.
Course.
So we haven't really been given like a specific content challenge yet, but just, you know, between us personally, we're definitely, we're actually, since we know that there's going to be some heavy emphasis on YouTube with this course, we've started kicking up our YouTube videos, and we've probably been doing them every day consistently. Again, we go up and down with YouTube, but we've probably been at it for about at least a week now, doing content every day, and our subscriber list is growing. Did we get our first lead off YouTube today? Was that our first one?
Yeah, we got a YouTube lead today.
So yeah, we're doing a lot of video, and again, just syndicating through our fan page and Twitter and Instagram and our blog.
So are you going to run with YouTube? Is that what you want to do? Your goal is to just run with YouTube right now?
Just to add it on with
focus. Oh, you're just going to add it on. Okay. Okay. So
we're
that's
still
good.
doing Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, added into it, but definitely we wanted to add video as a larger piece of the puzzle. So. Okay.
Were you guys just uploading to Facebook before, or how are you hosting your videos? Because I know you were doing videos.
That's like what we're doing. So, I mean, it sounds like a lot of content, but basically for me, you guys, I'm doing basically 2 pieces of content a day. I'm doing an Instagram post, and that ties into usually the subject matter of my video. I'll do a longer video. I'll put it on YouTube. I'll embed that video on a blog post. Then I'll share the blog post over on our fan page.
And
then
Twitter.
I don't share it to Twitter, but then I'll do an Instagram post of this similar subject and say, hey, if you guys want to check out this video I did to get more info on this, and then I'll give the blog post link. So, and then that Instagram post gets tweeted out to Twitter. So yeah, I'm hitting it in all places, and then, engaging with the folks that get back to me. So if you're just getting started, again, this is kind of some stuff that I've built up over time, but it basically boils down to 2 pieces of content a day for me, which is something you can definitely build up to pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, because I mean, there's like your main piece of content, which is probably like your blog or your video, right? And then that's more like your bigger piece of content. And then having like that secondary piece of content, which could be an Instagram post, that's something simple. I heard a lot of, like, even Ray Higdon has said on some of his trainings to create 2 to 3 pieces of content every single day. So, it could be a video, a blog, an Instagram post. I mean, because Instagram's kind of like little micro blogs. In my opinion, you can make little micro blogs out of them. Obviously, I think 2 to 3 times or 2 to 3 posts on Instagram is actually perfect. It's like the perfect recipe right there. And sometimes, like today, that was just a post that I created a few months ago. I haven't even posted anything today.
Yeah.
And some days I just do more than others. But some days I'm doing 5 pieces of content, and some days I'm doing 1. Some days I'm doing 2. Sometimes I'm doing 2, 3. But the main thing is that I'm getting something out. So types of content, I'm sure a lot of you guys, especially if you're new, kind of looking at our list here of who all is on. Yeah, there's quite a few people that are new, just especially if you guys are new. So what is content? Content's basically you creating like a blog, a YouTube video, a Facebook video, whatever type of video you want to do, an Instagram image. It could be, you could even be a note on your Facebook, whatever, something of value, something like a solution to your target audience's problem is basically what content is. It could be inspirational. It could be motivational. I try to really stick between, in fact, on my Periscope, I'm constantly saying I scope about leadership, mindset, social media marketing strategies, lead generation, online marketing. Those are the things that I scope about. So that's basically what content you should be, content guideline you should be following. And that's what I've always done ever since I started with my blog. So anything that's inspirational, motivational, mindset, leadership, it could be three necessary skills to become the leader you seek. It could be anything along those lines. You could do a video about that. So for some of you that are here, I know, and I have heard some people even say this, I don't know what to talk about, or I just don't have any ideas, or whatever. Well, there's a lot of ideas. You're just not looking for them. You haven't trained your brain to always be looking for ideas. And something that I've gotten really good at is I've trained myself, because I used to be like that. I used to always think, I always used to think, I have content block. I can't, I've got writer's block. I can't think of things to talk about in my blog posts or my videos or my Instagrams. And I used to be one of those people that always would tell myself that. And what ended up happening is I became that person that never had anything to talk about. And I actually became kind of like a one-trick pony there. Sometimes in the beginning, I was kind of like a one-trick pony. I wasn't really expanding on things. I was kind of talking about the same things over and over again, So for a while, I would talk about mindset over and over again. And so I don't want that to happen to you. So if you are telling yourself that you don't know what to talk about, stop now, okay? Start asking yourself better questions, like what could I talk about today? And never, ever, ever, ever tell yourself you have writer's block or content block or any of that, because it will actually create a block. You'll actually create the block. So that's really, really important that you do not do that. And so something that I do all the time is, first of all, I'm always investing in myself, whether it be a new book, a new Audible. It could be me just plugging into the daily wake-up calls. I think that's a really big one. Plugging into MLSP training. And so because I've really just immersed myself, I've just thrown myself into all of and I don't get overwhelmed with all the training, by the way, because I've learned to also sift and sort through that, because I understand that not all of it is for me. So I know, like, I've heard this complaint a lot, that they don't like certain people don't like certain things, or they feel like they're overwhelmed or all that. Please, not everything is for you, okay? It's just like going to a all-you-can-eat buffet. Has anybody ever gone to a Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a vegetarian. So guess what? When I walk into there's not much April Tucker can eat. So I'm walking around and I'm like, okay, well, I'll have a little noodles with some vegetables. I'll have a salad, and anything with meat I'm staying away from. Maybe I might get lucky if I can get a cheese pizza or something, right? That's the same thing with your content, or with all the training that you get in MLSP. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet, but only some of it you're going to want to eat. You're not going to want to eat all of it, because not all of it is for you, okay? Some of it is for, let's say you're like April and Matt. Well, they're not at the beginner level. So when we're talking to beginners, or they're hearing the same thing over again, and I know I hear it sometimes too, I'm like, okay, I know. But those are for the beginners. That's for the people that are just showing up. They're brand new, out of the box. They're just getting started. We have to speak to them. But that doesn't mean it's for April and Matt. And they understand that, because they've been around long enough. They have to, right? So they know that, hey, if they want to eat meat, okay, let's say you want to eat. I know Matt likes meat and potatoes. He likes, just like some meat and he's a meat and potato guy. Okay, he's like, no vegetables, just meat and potato. So he's like, skip the vegetables, just give me the meat and the potato. So he listens for when it's time for him to get his meat and potatoes, and that's just kind of the same thing. So really, guys, understand that, okay? Understand that you have an all-you-can-eat buffet, but not all of it is going to be, your taste even. Sometimes you might be like, ugh. There's things, I'm not going to eat squid. My son likes river eel. We go to the Chinese buffet, he's like all over the river eel, and I'm like, get out of here. Don't ask me how that happened. I have no idea. I think he actually likes to get attention. He does it to get my attention. He grosses me out. Because the whole time I'm like, I can't watch you eat Get away from me. Go eat on the other side of the restaurant, you know. But so I just want to kind of get that out there, because I know sometimes people have that complaint. They're like, oh, I'm overwhelmed by all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, understand this. Do you walk into the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet and feel overwhelmed?
I do, especially when there's a big old buffet full of salad.
Oh, okay. You just feel disgusted. There's a difference.
Overwhelming.
You feel overwhelmed by all the salad. No, you don't. You're just like, okay, where's the meat and potatoes? You walk to the potatoes because you know that's where you eat, right? I know I eat at the salad bar. You know you eat at the meat and potatoes. So that's, everybody's got their different tastes. So that's how we do it.
So let's talk about that for a sec. Like, what if it's your first time at a Chinese buffet and you've never had Chinese food before?
Right.
You're like, do I do the noodles? Do I do the Kung Pao chicken? Do I do the sweet?
A little bit of everything.
And here's a really good point, you guys. It all tastes good.
Yeah.
It all tastes good, but you don't have to eat everything. So I think a lot of people, when they're getting started, get really hung up on, oh my gosh, which strategy should I do? And I don't have my blog yet, but I'm focusing on Instagram, but maybe I should quit that and I should go build a blog. Oh, now I need to get on YouTube. Stop it. All of it works, and you have plenty of time to get it all in there. We were talking with one of our coaching students last week, and this poor guy was just so overwhelmed because he's getting on doing and comparing himself and beating himself up over that, comparing himself to what people are talking about in the MLSP community. Please, guys, please be graceful with yourself and just get that expectation out of your head right now. It is perfectly acceptable to focus on a single leader that you resonate with and follow the strategy that they teach. It's perfectly acceptable to focus on a single strategy and work it heart and soul and put your blinders up to everything else until you start consistently generating 3 to 5 leads a day. And when you make that decision, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or Periscope or whatever it is, make the decision that you're going to do it for 90 days and don't look at the results until you complete that 90 days. Like, just give it the full 90 days. Give yourself time to learn it, tweak it, get consistent with it, and then at the end of the 90 days, evaluate where you are with that and what kind of results you're having before you start going down the path of it's not working, I'm not doing it right, I suck, I can't do this, I'm quitting. So don't go there. So right off the bat, commit to 90 days, pick a single strategy, if it's,
and then just get started.
Yeah, watch, especially if, like we started out with the Insta Biz Builder training that April did in the back office. It's still up there, it's still relevant, and the great thing about it is that you can sit down and you can watch this video. April says, go download Instagram from your Google App Store or from your iTunes App Store. Hit pause on the video, go download the app. Once it's loaded, come back, hit play on the video. Then April's going to say, okay, here's how you sign in and set up an account. Hit pause on the video, go sign in. And that's how you can do it, guys. So many folks get in this habit of watching video after video after video after video and never hitting pause and going and implementing it. So that is hugely important. And now we're talking about strategies and not talking about content. I just went off on a tangent.
No, but it's true. No, people don't know how to do strategy. I say, if you're at an all-you-can-eat, go eat from different things. See what you like. I signed my daughter up for. I'm getting an echo. You hear it?
Yep.
We did for a second there, yeah.
Okay, there you go. I signed up my daughter for dance, and we were having a hard time picking out what dance she was gonna do, and she didn't really want to do ballet, but I was like, just try them all, so we have her in lyrical, we have her in ballet, we've got her in what's the other one, hip hop, and I told her, well, if you don't like it, we'll just go keep trying different stuff until you figure out what you want to do, no problem. And actually, she was doing gymnastics for a while too, so we might go back to doing gymnastics, and that's just kind of the same way it is when you are picking your strategy. And I think that's really important to know what is your strategy going to be. And especially, so all of your strategies should lead to some type of content though. So whether it's Instagram that you're going to focus on, if you're going to focus on blogging, if you're going to focus on video, those are really like, honestly, like I feel like it's either going to be video, it's going to be blogging, or it's going to be, I mean, Instagram can definitely be a main strategy if you're using it to really put content out though. Okay. Like if you're going to do that, I do actually Instagram, video, and blogging. I do all of them. Of course, you know, that's up to you. And you could always do pay-per-click and stuff like that too, but you still want to create content with if you're going to do Facebook PPC, you still need to be putting content out on Facebook. Because you still need to be interacting with your, you know, getting people to engage with you, and obviously attracting people to you and all that stuff. And content is the fastest way to do that. So different types of things that you can obviously blog, and I told you that you can do leadership, mindset, all that good stuff. Start plugging into everything you can. That, like I said, don't get overwhelmed by it. Remember the all-you-can-eat buffet while you're doing that, okay? We got off on all of that, but that is, I think, very necessary for people to realize that they don't have to eat everything at the all-you-can-eat buffet. They eat what they like. You know, meat and potatoes, whatever it is. I like that analogy. The meat and potato guy. So that's basically what you're going to do. You're going to create a content strategy based on that. And so what I do, and I'm just going to give you guys some tips to really get you started, and then Matt and April can kind of fill in where, or whatever they do or whatever. But I always, like I said, I have my brain trained to look for things. So it could be, Matt emailed me and had a question. Okay. It could be, I'm looking and I'm like, wow, that's a really frequent question that I get a lot. Or I could be in a Facebook group and I see questions, or I see people that are doing things wrong. Well, a lot of time they're doing a lot of things wrong. If you go look in a Facebook group, you see that all the spam and all that stuff. So you know that, you can help them, by maybe doing a training on, giving them some lead generation tips or something like that, and then go throw your training into that group where all that spam is going on. And then that you're going to attract people that way. I've just really learned to look, even like just walking through grocery store lines, looking at magazines. I've heard a lot of people say that, but I've always done that. Just looking at magazines and kind of looking at the titles and the type of solutions they're offering for, weight loss and stuff like that. Well, I'm not doing weight loss, but a lot of those similar headlines and things like that can definitely be brought right over to that. And really just, like I said, getting into the MLSP wake-up calls, listening to, the training in the back office. There's a lot of content ideas back there. And then just really thinking about putting yourself in your prospect shoes. And that's something that I think is really important. Like, even for myself, because I'm very successful now, but I have to put myself in that struggling marketer, the brand new person's shoes every single day, or I won't be able to provide solutions to them. And I have to also remember the things that I've struggled with. So one of the things that I would recommend, especially if you've never done this, is write down some of the struggles that you have or have had when you first got started in your business. Write down a list, and then think of solutions that you can provide to those problems, some same problems that you might have right now, because that's actually going to help you. One of the things that I do, if I'm struggling with something, and sometimes, like if I'm struggling with my mindset, the best thing for me to do is to come up with my own solution and then teach about it. That's what I do. I seriously do this. I do this even with my marketing strategies. If I'm struggling with something, maybe I'm keep hitting a roadblock with something in my marketing or something like that, I immediately, this is the only thing I can think to do, is I'm like, all right, April, fix the problem. Now that you fixed the problem, teach others how they can solve that problem too. And that has really worked out very well for me. I can't begin to tell you. In fact, it opened up so many doors of opportunity for me just doing that. Look at Instagram. You guys, did you know? I got to tell you this story just because it's a really good one, and some of you might have already heard this. But when I started my Instagram account, Brian Finale, like I had already had the Instagram account, but when I started like getting some leads, I got on a wake up call, and I did a quick training on the wake up call on how to get leads on Instagram, right? And that was how it kind of really started. And then Brian's like messaged me, and he's like, hey, why don't you come on and do a Wednesday? We don't have any Instagram training. Why don't you come on and do a Wednesday? I'm like, let's do it. You know what? At the time I still, like, I was getting a couple leads, maybe a couple leads a day. I wasn't like getting a ton or doing anything yet, right? It's not like my account today. It was like a brand new account, a couple hundred followers, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this training. So I start like really hitting it hard with my Instagram. I'm like, okay, I've got a week. I've got to get this going. I got to really, you know, show people some results. So I'm really focused on it, right? And all of a sudden I can't access my Instagram account. And I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to do a Wednesday webinar. I can't access my Instagram account. And guys, like, I was like, you know, like I felt like crying. Like felt like curling up in a ball. I'm supposed to do the Wednesday webinar. It was scary as hell, you know? And so I'm like, all right, let's start a new account. So I went and I started a new account because I thought, well, for sure this account's deleted. Like Instagram must have got mad at me and shut my account down. And a lot of shit's going through my head, excuse my French, but a lot of crap's going through my head right now. I've got all these doubts and fears, and am I going to be able to pull this off? Oh my gosh, I signed up for this. I don't know what, but I knew there was no like looking back, like the bridge had already been burned. That Instagram account I thought was gone. So I started up this new account, and then the first thing I'm like, how do you get followers really fast? Because I'm like, I have zero. I'm starting with zero everything. How do I get this thing going as fast as possible? And because I kept asking myself that question, I kept finding the solution. And so that actually led me into the path of where my account is today. I mean, I was really able to put my account on steroids because of what that lesson taught me. Well, that lesson that I thought that had happened, but I ended up not losing my Instagram account. So that was the good news. I ended up just uninstalling my Instagram, reinstalling it, and getting it back. But that lesson, because I thought I lost my account, really pushed me to seek further and create the strategy that I have today. And I've sold hundreds of my course, hundreds. I mean, that course is by far done way over 6 figures in sales. So that right there, it all stemmed from me thinking I lost my account, and that's what really pushed me. And that's why I'm saying sometimes you know, when you have a problem, force yourself to figure it out so that you can create training and actually solve other people's problems. Because I did that, I was able to solve lots and lots of other people's problems and help them create leads and income in their business on Instagram. So it's pretty awesome. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes the content that you're looking for, it's like underneath a rock. You don't really know it's there, and until you really like seek it, you know, and push for it. So, so guys, do you guys have anything that you kind of do as far as your content, like coming up with ideas and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with the thing about the listening to the morning wake-up calls. That is the best way to get yourself a subject for some content right off the bat, first thing in the morning. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of listening to books on, you were saying Audible. I've been finding a lot of stuff on YouTube, just a lot of folks reading books on YouTube that I've been listening to as well. And I've been getting a lot of content from that. I take notes on pretty much all our trainings and just keep kind of a notebook for stuff so that something quickly, I can bust it out pretty quick. So it's just kind of a collection, and there's lots of stuff around you. So if you're feeling really stuck about what to do content on, I would say, first off, be plugging into wake-up calls, trainings through MLSP and other books and audibles out there. And whatever resonates with you, like whatever just goes in your chest, write it down, do a piece of content about it. Just writing about that thing, what you learned, how it's applied to your business, or how it would speak. You know, if you're speaking to yourself when you got started, And if you just got started a week ago, speak to yourself a week ago, that, you know, talk to the questions that you had when you got started a week ago, and just begin to build it from there.
Yeah, usually for my content strategy too, I try to, you know, I'm not working the 40 hours a week job still. I'm at home full time. And so I've got more time to work on content. So I really try to post 3 to 6 times a day on Instagram, and those then go all out to Twitter and Facebook, and then, you know, I spend the majority of the time responding to people, and then following up as well with questions or whatever people talk about from my pictures. So I try to really focus on just doing Instagram, and then, you know, branch out from there. It just feeds everything else that I do. And then I drive traffic to it once we get it.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I do too. You know, it's not any big deal. Actually, as you were talking, I just had some more ideas, so I put them down in my notepad. Guys, if you don't, what I do is, like, I use my phone. And I can even talk to my phone because I have the voice on there. So if I'm driving or something, I can just click on the little microphone and I can just say my idea. I just have a little notepad, Keep or whatever. I think it's called Notes for iPhone or whatever. And then anytime you have an idea, and sometimes I even see quotes like for my Instagram that I really like, but I know, like, I always post my quotes in the morning, or like, you know, my motivational type stuff in the morning. So I'll save it for the next day, you know, and I've really gotten in the habit of making sure. In fact, I had a really good idea today, and just an example. I mean, I had a really good idea, and I'm just like having a brain fart now because I didn't write it down right away. So my lesson learned. So let my lesson be your lesson, because have you ever had an idea where you're like, oh, I'm going to do, actually it was for a wake up call I was going to do, and I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. And then I didn't write it down. You ever forget to write it? No, just don't write it down, because you're like, yes. I think I was doing dishes or something. I just couldn't.
All the time. Or like the kids walk up to you like in the middle of a thought, and you're like, and it's gone.
I know, yeah. Or I'm writing my email. I can't stand when my kids walk up to me while I'm writing my email or my blog post, because I'm like this. I'm gonna roll, right? I'm like,
and you're like, Mommy.
Oh, I'm like, no.
Matt's notorious for coming up and like showing me dumb memes on Facebook when I'm in the middle of trying to do a post. It throws me off all the time. Like, we can't work together.
Like,
it's impossible.
So, you know what, guys, too, another thing I'm just going to say, because for those of you that are like, but I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to write about, just sit down and start doing it. Seriously, just get started. Just whatever it is, if you're going to write a blog, if you're going to do a video, just start, at least get in the seat in front of your computer. Don't be like running around doing stuff and procrastinating and doing other things. Like, seriously, get in your office, at your desk, wherever you're at, get in front of your computer. If you're going to do a video, sit in front of the video camera, keep pressing play until something comes out. Okay. Sometimes that just works for me. I don't know why, but it just all of a sudden something just comes out. If you tell yourself it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Probably because I tell myself it does work. That's why it works for me. So those are just some ideas that you guys can kind of roll with as far as content. A lot of times what I do as far as content goes, let me just say this, because when you have a piece of content, let's say it's a blog post. I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say it's a blog and a video, okay? Your content should always be provide a solution and then recommend, okay? And so when you are providing a solution, you're kind of pre-selling them, right? You're warming them up to your idea of, you know, creating leads for their business and all of that stuff, or whatever. If you're warming them up to your business or MLSP, whatever you're trying to lead them to, and then you're recommending. And so I actually had a guy who I went to high school with message me last night, and he's all acting like he's interested in MLSP. He wants to join. And then he's like, hey, April, you know, I see you have all these connections and all these followers. Can you share my business with them? And first of all, I don't even do that with my business. I don't just go out and say, here's my business. Okay. So why would I do that for him? I don't know. I would never do that for him. But anyways, I don't care. And I told him, I said, that's not the way that I run my business. I provide a solution, and then I recommend. And a lot of the time that recommendation is another free training. through MLSP. Why? Because that allows me to get them on my list. So let me just say this. You should not expect to sell them something right away, because they're typically not going to buy until about the 9th exposure, and that's the average. And that's if they buy or not. And probably about 90% of the leads, more, I'm being very nice, like 95% of your leads are not going to ever buy anything. Okay, so you got this 5% that are. And those numbers might scare you. Don't let them. That just means you need to generate more leads. All right, and that is true. Like if you're right now, you're generating a couple leads a day, I usually say, okay, if you're generating per 50 to 100, you'll probably see between the 50, let's say you got 50 leads on your list, the 50 to 100 leads on your list, you'll probably see some type of activity within that. And then every 50 to 100 leads you generate, you'll probably get a sale from. Okay, and that also depends on whether or not you're monetizing your list, you're emailing your list, webinars, and things like that. All right, so it might be like, oh, April, that's a lot, you know, that's the numbers. Those are the numbers. Your numbers are actually a lot worse offline. So good luck with that. And that's all I know. It's a good luck with that one. Because they are actually, it's a lot longer. It's a lot harder. It's you know, to me, it's
but the more content that you get out there, the quicker you are at generating that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take as long as you would think it does, as long as you stay consistent.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And I think people sometimes get scared by the numbers. You shouldn't let them scare you. But that's just more reason you just keep continuing to create content. That content is the monetization part too, by the way. So not only is it the lead part, so you can get leads from your content, right? The lead generation part, you can go out there, that's marketing. We'll just call it marketing. And then you got monetization. Monetization is where the money happens. Marketing is where the leads happen. Okay, so leads is the marketing part. You get them on your list and then you monetize. Well, what's the beauty about content is that if you're creating like a blog or a video or something like that, and you put it out there and you're using it for your marketing, but then you're also using it to monetize the list you already have. So whether it's, you know, your Instagram followers, your Facebook followers, your Aweber list, your GetResponse list, whatever, that's monetizing. That's getting them, warming them up, and then obviously building a relationship with them. And people are ultimately going to buy from people they like, know, and trust. And that's why content is so powerful, is because people will buy from the person that helps them. And typically, you're gonna build trust a lot faster if you're actually providing solutions instead of pushing a product or pushing an opportunity on them, because they're gonna be like, oh, this person really cares about me and really wants to help me. I want to work with that person, you know. So people really will warm up.
People want to know what they're getting.
Yeah, they want to know what they're getting. Yeah, or who they're working with. Yeah, they want to know what type.
How many times have you signed up for an opportunity thinking that you're signing up with Bill, who you really resonate, only to find out you're like 8 levels down from Bill, and now you joined with Joe, and Joe doesn't know what he's doing. So
right, yeah. Oh yeah, I see that all the time. People are like, "Oh, April, I joined the wrong person." People are always coming to me and saying that, you know. Not just like in their opportunity all the time. So guys, so this is really simple for you to know what are the number 1 and number 2 problems that your target audience has. It's the 2 things that they're lacking. The first one is leads, and the second one is leadership. And so what April and Matt were saying, a lot of times they don't have a leader. They don't have anybody to show them the way. They're looking for someone to show them the way, which also the reason why they don't have any leads is because nobody's showing them the way. So those 2 things right there, if you can blog or produce content about those 2 things all the time, you know, obviously you're portraying leadership by doing that, so that takes care of that. But if you're actually showing them how to get leads and stuff like that, you think that that's something that people will be interested in, you know, working with you? Yeah, of course, you know. So those are some ideas. So hopefully we've squashed the whole I don't have any ideas for content thing. I know some of you might still be in like beginner's phase or infancy phase, or you feel like maybe you're not adequate enough. I assure you, you are. You need to start acting as if. if you really want to start attracting, you know, success and leadership and stuff like that in your life. But, you know, don't let that hold you back. Understand that you are where you are. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody's in, you know, some people are intermediate, some people are beginner level, some people are successful, and everybody has a different path, and you don't know someone's path. People look at me and they still think I'm like an overnight success story. And I'm like, no, I was not. I struggled for quite a while. I struggled, you know, and most people do. They struggle in the beginning. It's just like learning to walk. It's a struggle, you know? So you have to understand, and everybody's got a different, you know, different path that they have to go through. It's just, we're all different. We're all wired different. Everybody's going to be different. So the main thing is to just get out there and start doing it, and just like, if the fear is holding you back, just do it anyways. Push through the fear. You're not going to grow if you do not push through that fear. The only way you're going to grow is by challenging yourself. So one of the things that you should probably write down and just put above your desk is that, and just make that a goal for each day, okay? And I don't care if it's just a little centimeter, you move out of your zone, okay? But every day, move a little more outside of your comfort zone. Push yourself a little bit more, inch by inch, and really start stretching your limits, okay? And that, I'm telling you, that works. I did it. I know it works. That's how I got over my fear of getting in front of the video camera. That's how I got over my fear of speaking on calls, doing webinars, doing everything that you see me doing. I will tell you right now, I was afraid to sit in front of a video camera and do live webinars like I'm doing right now. I was afraid to get on stage at the first time at Live the Dream. Okay. I was afraid to sit in front of my computer and do my first video. I felt like throwing up. That's how afraid I was. So I'm telling you right now that if I can do it, you can do it. And I want to see some people stepping outside their comfort zones, hopefully tomorrow. If it's only Monday, you guys have all week to start. I mean, you can start tomorrow. We can start blitzing tomorrow, and I'll go over the blitz and all of that. But just do that first video. In fact, why don't you do, if you are afraid to do your first video, this is what I want you to do your first video on. I want you to give tips on how to overcome your fear of doing your first video, because you're not the only one with the problem. There's a gazillion other people in this industry that have that same problem. So that is going to be your first assignment. If you want to take me up on it, doesn't mean you have to do it. But I encourage you guys that if that is a problem, even if maybe it's not a problem that you have right now because you're already past that level, just do a video on how to overcome your fear of doing video. And that will be your first video. But I'm not going to give you the answer on how to overcome your fear of doing video. You're actually going to have to figure that out yourself. So if you want to, you can use Google. You can Google how to overcome fear of public speaking. You can Google how to overcome fear of doing video. I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of stuff. You can obviously learn from your own experiences by doing your first video, and so on. So that's going to actually be my challenge to you guys for tomorrow or by the end of this week. I won't push you guys too hard. I know some people have jobs and stuff like that, but I want to see some people by the time we have our next meeting next Monday that have their very first video done. And I want it to be done on that topic. I've chosen it for you, so you don't even have to sit there and fret about what am I going to do my video about. You know what you're going to do your video about. I made it really easy for you guys.
Yep.
Does that make it easy, right? I wish I could have done that.
Just share it in the group too. Once you get your video up, share it in the group so we can all see it and give you some props. So
yes, put it in our MLSP group, in our MLSP mastermind group. As soon as you're done, we'll all go comment and celebrate with you, because that's a huge accomplishment. And I think too, like if you do your first video, you should find some type of external motivation. So I know for myself, like I'll have like a little external motivation, like if I accomplish what I need to in my business for the week, right? I like to take my family out to dinner, and that's kind of like our little victory dinner. And that's my little external motivation. Now, if I didn't do what I planned to do in the week or whatever, then obviously I don't get that external motivation, that prize, right, of going out to eat with my family, or like this weekend we went to a movie, that kind of thing. But I would do something like that. And then having, obviously, your internal motivation should be your why. You should have that written down on paper as to why you're doing this business. And I think not enough people do write down their why. And I don't think people really understand the importance of knowing what your why is, because that should be the driving force. That's like that burning desire inside of you that keeps pushing you on a day-to-day basis, and really eliminates the, I'm not going to say the idea of quitting, but it will stop you from quitting, because you'll remember that this is why I'm doing this. And so for me, I think that's really important, because that's going to be the factor for you, whether or not you stick with it or not.
Especially if you ask yourself, who doesn't get help? What doesn't get built? Whose life doesn't get changed? What opportunities do the people I care about miss out on if I quit, if I don't do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, that's very true. That's important. It's like my kids were my why, but that wasn't even, I mean, my why was I was miserable. Sometimes you got to find the pain too. I think pain is a really, really, really good one. If you have some type of pain in your life right now, you're miserable about where you are in your life, write down the things that you do not like about your life, and then write down the things that you actually want instead. Mm-hmm. And that little exercise really helped me, because I didn't realize how miserable I was. I didn't realize how much pain I was really in. Honestly, I was grateful for what I had. I have to be honest. I was very grateful because guys, there was a point in time where I didn't have a car. I was pretty much homeless. I had 3 kids, and I was living in somebody's house that was throwing me out, and I had nowhere to go. So for me, when I got the job at the casino, believe me, I was grateful to be able to put food on the table for my kids, because I knew that was a really good thing, right? But for a long time, I just felt like that was fine. Like that's the only way to live. And I actually thought that was the good life, that was the good life, until somebody actually introduced me to better. And that was, obviously the turning point for me. And then I really did realize that, hey, I'm probably not going to be able to do this much longer, because physically I wasn't going to be able to do it much longer. I was already missing a lot of work because of my back issues. So, that's what kind of turned my life around, was once I realized that what I was doing was making me miserable, and I had to find something better, and my kids never saw me. And so there was a lot of internal motivation there for me to keep going and not look back. So let's talk about the Blitz. I know Michael had asked, what is the Blitz? Blitz is basically a challenge. Basically, you're just challenging yourself, though. We're running together. I'm not going to call it a challenge, because I feel like a challenge is something that, I'm going to basically, I don't know, I feel like a challenge is more structured, and it has to be done this way, or you can't be in the challenge and all that. And I think a Blitz for me is more, hey, we're running together, we're building a business, we're supporting each other. And I think
we're wrestling the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing it together. And to me, that's more, I know there's not a lot of structure, in which some of you might feel like you need structure. And believe me, I've been there, but structure is for jobs. That's the way I look at it. If you want structure, get a job, stick with a job. You have a business, you create your own structure. So I think it's really important that you get into the pattern of creating your own structure. My content strategy, it really, on a good day, and I'm going to be honest, like not every day do I get every piece of content that I'd like to out. Today I didn't get every piece of content that I'd like to out, pretty much because I was stressing over my refrigerator, but that's another story and other things going on. But normally what I do is first thing in the morning, I will create my Instagram post, okay? And then I will create a blog post and a video usually, right? And put that video together. And sometimes it's a Periscope, or I repurpose something, or if it's a wake-up call I did. So I'm always gathering my content and creating it into something, right? Then I mail my list. Okay, so then I send my blog post out to my list. And then I might do like a Periscope. I'll definitely do another Instagram post. It'll probably be more of a training type micro blog post where I'm actually giving them a tip that I can actually write like a little blog about on Instagram. And that's basically my content. So right there, and you mailing your list is content, by the way. It is. It's in my eyes, that's content because you're providing value to your list. You're in it, whether it be in a form of an email, you're actually creating copy and mailing to your list. To me, that is content. Okay. Some people might not call it that, but that's what I would call that content. So by the time you've mailed your list, you've created a blog post, you've done an Instagram post, if you're wanting to do Instagram, you might have done another Instagram post. There's 4. And you did a Periscope. That's 5. Now, that's for me on a very, very good day. And April and Matt, last Monday I had a very good day, and I did do that. And actually, I didn't even feel like I did that. I probably worked 2 hours. And I had really literally just repurposed some of the content that I had with my Periscope and all of that stuff. So it wasn't like a big, huge task of me putting all this content together. So please don't let that overwhelm you because it's not that big of a deal. 2 of those posts were Instagrams. 2 of them were Instagrams, which are no big deal. They take me about 15 minutes, if that, right?
Right.
So, no big deal there. Emailing my list, no big deal. I'm emailing them a couple paragraphs, no big deal there. That's a piece of content. And then I'm creating a blog post. I took a Periscope that I had did like the night before, and I created it into a blog post, and I mailed it out to my list. And that's what I did. Another really good idea is something that you could do is you could turn like our weekly webinars, turn it into some content. So basically, you could do something like this week we're talking about Periscope. Well, why don't you Google why Periscope? Why should entrepreneurs pay attention to Periscope? Okay, look for that answer and do a blog post on why you think entrepreneurs should be paying more attention to Periscope. Okay, create a video if you want to about it, and then say, and guess what? I've got great news for you. This week, one of the people that I work very closely with, this is actually really good if you're, what do you call that? When you can say that you work really closely with somebody who's higher up, it actually makes you look really good. Mm-hmm. So you're saying, I actually worked really close with her. She's rocking it on Periscope, and she's going to come out and she's going to share how you can start getting 3 to 5 leads per Periscope that you do on Periscope. And then you can invite them and give them a link to your weekly marketing webinar. You see how easy that is, though? Like, it's not like you don't have to know anything about Periscope. You're just going to Google why people should be paying, why people should be on Periscope. Why do business on Periscope? Go look for answers. There's lots of blog posts on Social Media Examiner and all kinds of places about Periscope. And you can come up with your own stuff. The MLSP email that just came out says reasons why they need to be on Periscope. I actually just heard today 13 million users are now on Periscope.
Wow.
You guys know that's it took Twitter a year to get to 1 million. I think it's 2 years, right? 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're at 13 million and they're not even 5 months old. So there's something that you could right there put in your blog post. You could rattle off just a couple of things from the MLSP webinar, or not webinar, but the invitation that MLSP sent out, and just put that in your blog post. So your blog post can literally, and a lot of my blog posts are like this, they're just a video, and I have a little introduction line, and that's it. And then I just say, hey, if you like this, feel free to share it and leave your feedback below, and I'll put a link for wherever I'm sending them to. And that's my blog post. No big deal. So my last tip for you guys, if you don't already do this, follow the leader until you become the leader that you seek. I would get on, make sure that you're paying attention to what I'm sending out, Matt and April are sending out, other leaders maybe in MLSP that you admire. Get on their list, read the content, see the content that they're putting out. go through their blog, start looking through some of the stuff that they're putting out, read their blog posts. It's not only going to help you, but it's also going to help give you ideas as to things that you should be blogging about. That was one of the things that I did in the very beginning, is I would just literally, like, I remember it was, at the time, it was Ray Higdon, it was David Wood, you know, when I joined 5 years ago. And so I'm just going through all their blog posts, and I'm looking, I don't even care. Like, I'm just looking for ideas for my own. And I'm writing down the stuff that they're blogging about. And I'm like, all right, I can come up with some of my own ideas for this. You put your own flair on it. It doesn't mean copy it. Please do not copy it. But get some ideas and then put your own flair on it and write a blog post about it, or do a video about it, or whatever.
Yeah, start it by, like, I just read this cool blog post, and then you just say what you read.
You could do that too. Sure. Sure. And guys, like, all my ideas are not my ideas. Nobody's ideas are their ideas. In fact, Ray Higdon reads tons of books. None of those are his ideas. None of my ideas are my ideas. Everybody's getting ideas from other people. It's not a big deal. And so that's kind of the way I look at it. Like, you put your own flair on it. You put your own personality on it. You know, you put that attractor factor on it. So you start attracting people that are going to be attracted to you. And the end of story. You know, you put the content out. So let's see here. Let's see what kind of questions we got going on. I'm in Mark Harvard's Ultimate Lead Generation course. Would you be coaching us to do a blitz as well? I don't think he's doing a blitz. I don't think Mark's into that, honestly, because I did a blitz with him. He's not real into that, I don't think.
Yeah, so far there hasn't really been talk of that.
No, that's not going to be a challenge. It's not going to be like the what Adam and Justice did, like a challenge. We did a little blitz with his bonus package for the 3-Minute Expert. And it was only like a 4-week one, but that was only because I was like, hey, let's bonus it up and let's add this and this and this. And he didn't want to do it though. So I don't think they're going to do it. So yeah, just focus on the blitz with us. What I would say, guys, anytime you do any content, just go ahead and post it in our group. And if you're going to post in the group though, please, like, if you're going to put it in there, go check out other people's posts first and go comment on some of theirs and just kind of be reciprocal with each other. I'm not going to make it a mandatory thing. People are going to be reciprocal with who they want to be reciprocal with. But I think it just makes it more fun when you try to do that. And I wouldn't say spend, an hour a day being reciprocal with people either. If you see a couple of posts that maybe you could just check out and like or whatever, just go do it. But yeah, definitely pop it in our group. Just please no biz op stuff. Okay, so I don't want to see anything. I don't care if you're reviewing your company or whatever. Just don't put any biz op stuff in there. Like, if you're in a business, don't go, doing a blog post about your business and then putting it in there. If it's value and it's actually providing a solution, or it's motivational or something like that, please, by all means, I want to see it. I want to know people are working and doing their thing. That's awesome. Getting a lot of followers, a couple of leads, but no sales, is that normal? Yes. Followers should turn into leads. Some percentage will turn into leads. Obviously, I mean, Alyssa, I've seen your content. Your content's awesome. Just keep doing what you're doing with that. But yeah, leads will turn into sales. But like I said, you're going to have so many leads that before you start turning them into sales. And then also make sure that you're monetizing. Make sure you're sending out about the weekly webinars. I would start maybe adding a little more, like maybe a video, like a YouTube video or a Facebook video where you're actually doing like more like a blog post, a little bit longer of a video. You know what I mean? Because I know you're doing the 15-second videos on Instagram, which is great. But I would actually start incorporating a little bit more in there so that way you can start monetizing the audience that you already have. And they can start really getting to know you. Can you help us craft a good bio for MLSP and a blog? You know what? I am not the greatest at bios, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not somebody, I don't even have a bio on my blog. I have a bio for my Instagram. So I'm not the greatest at that. I don't know if I should be. I would just Google if you're hung up on something. Your bio should really just be more about, I mean, do you guys have a good bio? Maybe you guys can take this one. I'm just being honest. I'm not the best about talking
I
about
would say one of the biggest things for me in fixing my bios in all of my social media, because it was a problem for me as well, and I see it on a lot of other people's bios when I'm traveling the internet during the day. And the biggest thing that helped me was to really tighten up my message. You know, you know, my Twitter bio said something like, you know, I love my wife and kids, and I live in Colorado, and you know, all this stuff that was true, and you know, it was all good stuff.
But nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
They want to be able to look at your bio and see if they're going to be able to find value and if you're going to be a resource for what they're looking for.
Right. And if you're a marketer, talk about marketing. Just say, I love marketing. I kick butt at it. You know, I'm really good at Instagram. I'm really good at Twitter. I can help you. You know, let's get rocking and rolling on your business. And
click
then
my link.
Yeah, click my link. And
well, I think it's different with the social media. He's asking for MLSP in his blog.
Yeah, I'd say with MLSP in your blog, though, you just, you know, tell a quick story about yourself.
Yeah.
Why you're in MLSP, why you're starting a blog.
You know what I did? And I wrote a lot of bios. I ended up taking mine down because I didn't like it. I just went and I looked at other leaders. I looked at like Mark Harberts. I looked at, you know, Ray's. I looked at all the leaders that I could find in MLSP or whatever, you know, the role models, basically the leadership there. And I just went and looked at their bios.
Yep.
Everything I did, I just looked at what other people were doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't really have a bio. I get it's more of like an about us, but I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we just kind of did a short story of, you know, it's kind of that, you know, this was happening and I was having this pain or I was having this struggle or this problem, and then I did this and now this is happening and you can too, kind of a thing. I think that's kind of a good formula for a bio. That's my personal opinion.
That's exactly what I would think too. Yeah, and I would say don't let that, like, if you haven't wrote your bio yet, it doesn't matter. Just keep going with something. See, the thing is those are like, to me, the little details. Like for me, I could sit here and I could write a bio like tomorrow, but I'd rather actually sit down and actually create content instead, because that's the marketing that I need to get out on a day-to-day basis. So a lot of times I just put that on the back burner. It's not anything that I'm too worried about. I have a little bio, like a snippet in my author box, and to me that's good enough. Like if anybody wants to know anything more about me, there's tons of crap out there about where I came from and all that stuff. So it's fine. Usually that's what draws them in, right? They usually hear your story somewhere.
They'll figure it out on you. They'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah. So creating 5 to 6 pieces of content per day for 30 to 90 days is a blitz. No, I would say at least create at least 1 piece of content every day. I would say as long as it's a major piece of content, like, and for me, like, I need my Saturday and Sunday. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, I was going to do like Saturday and Sunday work, but I need my Saturday and Sunday. I need days that I need to unplug, because I do this full time and I don't want to get burnt out. I've been burnt out before. Believe me, it's not fun. So in order for me to keep my stamina and for me to keep my inner peace, I need to unplug on Saturday and Sunday. So I do. And so you get to create your own, what you do. If you want to create, I can't tell you, Michael, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you what you should do. If you want to create 3 pieces of content a week or 1 piece of content a week, however you want to do it, what you create your schedule. Okay. So I would say ideally at least 1 piece of content, you know, maybe 3 to 5 days a week. Okay. Depending on what your schedule is or whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to bump it up, like the more you do, obviously the more you're gonna be rewarded, right? The more you're gonna get out of your content, the more you're gonna get out of your business. So if you can do 5 to 6, then go for it. You know, it's completely up to you. The blitz is just going to go. We're just going to be blitzing. I would say we're probably going to blitz until November. I actually have these hangout sets. Let me see here really quick. We'll be definite, okay? I won't just leave you guys hanging. I know some people need definite. So 1 sec. I'll just check. I'll tell you when we're going to. Because the holidays are going to come up, and I figured, well, we'll probably, people will probably be busy around that time anyway, so I was just going to go all the way to November. But that's me. Like I said, I'm going to be, whoever wants to come along, come along. That's me. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
And I'm sorry, sweetheart. Were you going to say
I was
something?
just going to say something along the blitz thing too. It's that consistency. Whatever you decide you're going to do, you have to stay with it, you know?
Right.
It's just, for me, if I was blitzing, I wouldn't look at it as like a once a week thing, because that's not, when you would use the blitz analogy in football, because you're blitzing the quarterback, and you're going to continue to blitz him until you get him down on the ground. And so you're going to continue to blitz in your business until you get a result, blitz in your business until you're getting your desired results. And then you say, okay, I did this and it resulted in this. Now I have a benchmark. Now I've got a level where I can say, going forward, I need to either do this to continue or step it up and scale it up to get more.
Right.
So,
and also just be honest with yourself. Matt is going to do, his blitz is going to look a lot different than mine. This guy probably does 4 or 5 pieces of content on Instagram a day, plus stuff on Twitter, plus other stuff, because he works our business full time. I still have a job. So, a blitz for me and success for me is doing, 1 to 3 pieces of content a day. And that, just be honest with yourself. It's not so much about like setting some benchmark that you've got, to reach. It's about being honest with yourself and picking what it is that that you can stick with, because I would say more important than the amount of content is the consistency of the content. Because as you start to get an audience and people are checking you out every day, then they come to see you as consistent and reliable. And I think that that's more important than how many pieces you're doing. As you get consistent with that, then you can challenge yourself to add more on top of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oops, you're muted, April.
I'm sorry. I don't want people to feel like overwhelmed, because I've joined challenges. That's why I don't ever make it through a challenge. I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I would just say, set the goals that you want for yourself. Actually, next week we'll talk about that. We'll talk about goal setting. And all of that stuff. So we'll just talk about goal setting as far as the blitz goes. I actually have a really good training on all that stuff. So I'll just go ahead and pull out those slides. We'll do it. I actually have right now, I have these webinars set until November 30th, which is 14 weeks. I was thinking, well, let's just go 12. And so let's say the 16th will be our last day for the blitz. But honestly, I'm just going to blitz. I'm going to blitz right up to New Year. Happy New Year.
We're with you.
Yeah.
The reason why is because everything you do now sets the stage for 2016.
Yep.
So if you want to be really successful in 2016, everything you're doing right now is like, if your business isn't doing anything right now, and let's say you're not doing anything in your business right now, and you don't do anything for the next 90 days, well, I can tell you right now, 2016 is going to be like nothing. It's going to be you're not going to move anything. So right now, it starts now. Your 2016 is now. It's here. It's now. And that's why I wanted to do this. I'm not just doing this for my health. I'm just inviting you guys to come along with what I'm already doing. For those of you that want to come along, great. I want you to, trust me, I've got so much knowledge right up in here. I can't even begin to tell you over the last 5 years, everything I've learned. And a lot of the times I'm learning it because I'm doing a blitz like this. I blitz. There's seasons when I blitz in my business. In the summer, I'm more laid back. It's cool. It's fun. It's, it's lighter workload. And then once the fall comes and the kids go back to school, I'm hitting the ground and I'm running hard. you know, and so it's up to you, you know, if you want to come and you want to run with me. You can learn a lot, I can tell you that. And your business will probably look a lot different by 2016. And I assure you that some of you will be pulling in some pretty good income by the time you're done too. But you have to be willing to run with me, you know. And even if like you feel like, oh, I don't have it all figured out, don't let that stop you, because a lot of the times that will actually stop you in your tracks. If you think that you have to have it figured out, I just gave you the first video to do. How to overcome your fear of doing video. Or it could even be how to do your first video if you want. I mean, whatever. But keep it along those lines. I just gave you your first piece of content. That's all you have to do. You know, and that's easy, right? I mean, that would just, I wish somebody did that for me when I started. That's all I know, okay? You guys got it easy. I had to figure this all out on my own. Anybody want to feel bad for themselves, it should be me.
Hey, April, I just want to piggyback off of what you were saying about, you know, maybe you guys have heard this said before, but it's the work that you're doing today is going to pay you in 90 days. And that goes along with what April was just saying. But I know for Matt and I, when we really got started working on our business together about this time last fall, and we just put our heads down and did that 90 days like we talked about. And January for us, which is typically kind of a slow month, isn't it sometimes, April? Not so much.
It kind of is, in a sense that people are kind of like, whoa, all the holidays and broke and you know, trying to recoup.
But that's not even the point. I mean, the point is that, you know, that was kind of the culmination of our first 90 days, you know, like our first 4 months or whatever, and it's true. That's exactly what we saw. And you know, one day we're opening our back office and we're like, oh my gosh, there's all these signups, you know. So I would challenge yourself to go for that. Don't pay attention to what's going on in the meantime. Just make the decision to commit to the blitz and go for it.
Yeah.
And then if you get stuck or whatever, come over to the Facebook group and just reach out to us, and we'll continue to, you know, sometimes you got to hear this stuff several times for it to really click in. Like sometimes you've got to hear how simple it is to come up with ideas to create content before it clicks in your mind. So we're here to help you guys. Yep. And like April said, we're all running together.
Yep. And if you're not reaching out, then that's, you know, you're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get what you put into it. You know, if you're not reaching out, you're not putting things into motion in your business and stuff like that. Well, that's why you're getting the results you're getting. You know, 0. So you have to just kind of just start throwing yourself in. And I actually did a wake up call on this exact topic of just taking action. A lot of people have a hard time just taking that first step, and it is a little scary to take the first step. But you have to just like fling yourself in, you know, just throw yourself in, dive in, and don't look back, you know, just get busy doing whatever it is. I kind of look at it like this, like, have you guys ever, like, okay, so I'll just use moving as an example. When we moved into this house, it was kind of like, well, I didn't know really where to start, but I knew I had to start. So I just started, like, one time I'd be like in a closet, and the next minute I know I'd be in the kitchen, and I just was like kind of like a maniac running through the house and just packing stuff. So I didn't really have much direction. So that's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to have it figured out or have it all mapped out or feel like you have a direction or anything like that. Just start doing something. Just start doing something. If it's a video, then it's a video. If it's a blog post, then it's a blog post. You will be led. You will be led to where you need to go. I assure you that. But you will never be led or be able to follow the signs of where you need to go if you don't get started. Bottom line.
Stop trying to figure everything out. You can't figure it all out. Or you hear people talk about stuff and you don't understand what that means because you haven't gotten out there and tried a little bit of stuff. So
yeah. That's another thing. Just start trying. That's how I learned the best, actually, is by just trying, doing.
Have courage. This is the Freedom Posse.
Yeah.
You're here.
Freedom Posse. Boom.
Woo!
All right, cool, guys. Well, I'm gonna let everybody go. You guys are all awesome. I want to see those first videos. Don't be shy. Put them out there. Everybody starts somewhere. And the way I look at it is, you know, you got to be bad before you can be good. But not only that, when you're in your bad phase of beginner phase or whatever you want to call it, nobody's really paying attention. So you don't really have to worry about it. Like, nobody's really looking. You have time to get better. You will get better by doing and being consistent. And over the next 30 days even, you will be a totally different content marketer. Your content will look totally different than the first piece of content that you put out there. So you don't have to worry about that. It will just get better and better and better and better.
Yep.
So any closing thoughts, anyone, or anybody have any questions before we head off? Freedom Posse.
Yeah, Freedom Posse. There we go.
So are we all going to go into MLSP and put it in parentheses in our usernames?
I don't know. Should we? I think we should.
If you do it, I'll do it.
Everybody's going to put Freedom Posse. If I do it, you'll do it. I just feel like Brian's going to be like, what's going on? He's like,
It's a
what do you
four.
do?
There's,
No, it's
you know,
not
there's
good.
kind of part of me that feels like everybody's already doing it. So, you know,
Oh,
like,
there's only a certain few people that are doing it. I don't know. Let me think about that. I don't
Okay.
care. If you guys want to, you can. Whoever wants to can. Freedom Posse's good.
Gotta hit the leaderboards first, though, right?
Huh?
Then you gotta hit the leaderboards first, though, right?
Yep. And that's another thing, too, is that's something that if you want to make it to the leaders board, you need to write that down. Get on leaders board. I don't care if it's for your leads, whatever it's for. Get on leaders board. Guys, seriously. The leaders board. Start looking at the leaders board every day and start visualizing yourself there. Set the intention to get on the leaders board, because that's where it all starts. I'm a big leaders board person. Like I'm one of those people. I'm very competitive. So for me, the leaders board really drives me. In fact, I've had like other contests and stuff, and because they didn't have a leaders board, I just never really could get into it. But if they had a leaders board, I'd be all over it.
Right.
You know, I just don't get into it unless I can see where I have to see. I have to have a calculation. I got to start doing my visualization. There's got to be some stuff going on. You know, if I don't have a visual leaderboard that I can watch, then it's really hard for me.
does everybody know where to find the leaders board in the back office? Because I know we've got some new folks on.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, I'll just, I don't know if I can do a screen share really quick or not.
No, just tell them. It's really easy to
Well,
find.
yeah, on your homepage with My Lead System Pro, you've got your menu bar, and all the way over to the left, you've got your home tab, and then right next to that, you have a tab that shows like a little golden medal. And if you hover your mouse over that, you can select the leaderboards, leader groups, and also hear about the leadership development and the MLSP Member of the Month, which if you haven't checked it out yet, you guys should go check that out, because
It's our last day.
it's our last day.
I don't think they I don't think they take it down right away.
No, I don't think we even got ours up until like a week and a half into August. So
Yeah, that's how it was for me too. I haven't been Member of the Month since 2013, I don't think. Been that long? Oh my gosh.
Right.
I'm gonna have to tell Brian I need to be a Member of the Month again. It's been
Right,
a while.
you're due.
I do, okay? No, I don't care. I really don't care anymore. I get enough exposure, but it's a huge deal when you become Member of the Month. If that's something, seriously, I would put that on your vision board, your list of something that you want to do. You want to become Member of the Month. Guys, seriously, start setting those intentions and really making them clear intentions of things that you really want to do. You know, something, and we're going to talk about this next month or next week, but something that you should be doing like tomorrow is the start of a new month. Tonight, you should be writing down your goals for September. Okay. So you have quarterly goals, you have yearly goals, you have 5-year goals, you have monthly goals, and you could even get as precise as weekly goals if you wanted to. I prefer just doing monthly goals, but if you wanted to, you could do weekly goals. But every first of the month, you should have right away, you should have the intention set for September. You might be like, April, but does that, you might be thinking even to yourself, it doesn't work. I used to think it didn't work until I started doing it. And then I was like, wow, this really works. So if you have the intention of signing up, 10 people in your business for the month of September, then you better write that down. And do not sit there and be like, is that realistic? Blah, 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 blah. Please do not do that, because when you set that intention and you actually, like, let's say you're like, well, it's not realistic for me to say 10 people. I'm just going to say 5 people in my business. Okay, when you set the intention of 5 people, you're limiting yourself to only 5 people. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Set the intention as your goal as I'm going to sign up 10 or more people into my business in the month of September. 10 or more, and never like play small, guys. Always play big. Always play big. And don't ever, if you feel like, oh, you start questioning yourself whether or not it's realistic, that's when you know you're limiting yourself. As soon as that thought comes into your mind, that means you're playing small, and you are not, I'm telling you, there's nothing, you get nothing out of playing small. You got to play large. You got to mean it. And so you got to get out there, and you got to be a part of the Freedom Posse, and you got to get out there and win, right?
Right.
Right? You got to eat the potatoes like that.
That's so true, April, and I'm glad that you brought that up tonight. And this is something that we've talked about on several occasions, and it's been a mindset shift for me, because I have this thing of not wanting to set myself up for failure. But you're absolutely right, because it was like we were talking about this recently, and we're trying to hit a specific leadership level, and you were like, no, you need to look at the one beyond that. And as soon as I did that, that became my focus. Like, oh my gosh, okay, so we're not even going to look at this level here. We're going to look up here, and that's going to be the focus, and that's just what we're going to work towards. And when you do that, there's a really great momentum that comes with that. You just kind of shove the fear or the doubts or whatever off to the side, and you just get busy and start making content. So it's really good advice.
Yep. Also, too, I'm going to recommend that since we should have probably done a little bit of goal setting training tonight, because tomorrow's the first. But since we are going to jump into the first tomorrow, what I would recommend that you do is go at the very top. It says leadership level of your screen when you log in. At the very top left-hand side, you'll see leadership level. It'll probably say L0 or wherever level you're at. Okay. Click on that link there. And then go look at what your leadership requirement is for the next level. So what are the requirements that you need to reach the next level? So my next level is L6, and I know exactly what my requirements are to reach L6. And you want to do the same thing. So you come in here, I don't care if you're at L0 or whatever. Here's the only thing you need to know. Masteries. Each mastery member that you sign up that pays their first month is worth 3 points. And each university level that you sign up that pays their first month is worth 1 point. Now, I'm going to say, for me anyways, and I know for April and Matt too, where you should be spending your time and only promoting and doing is mastery. Because you don't have to put in as much effort to earn $100 versus $15 for a university, and you don't have to put as much effort to get 3 points. So it's actually less work on your part, but you're doing pretty much the same activity, and you're getting a lot more for it. So that's why I always tell people mastery is the only way to be. It really is, but for some people, maybe it's not an option for them, But seriously, that's what I would do. I would only push the mastery. I would go for those 3 points. And so you know to go L1, here's what you need. 10 total referral points with a minimum of 5 referral points that still have active accounts. So total referral points are people that actually paid their first month but might not be active, okay? So you know that you're gonna need 4 people total that have paid their first month. And then you need a minimum of 5 referral points that are active. So you technically only need 2 mastery levels active. That's it. So 4 people, that's it, that have paid their first month. And out of those 4 people, if you do it really fast, I don't think you're going to have a problem with the active points. So just go for, this is what I would do this month. If you're in L0 right now, write your goal for this month that you're going to go L1. And next week, what we'll talk about too, remind me, or maybe the following week, we'll do some more goal setting next week, but I want to like help you guys create leads. I have some videos. There's a video on a Facebook training that me and Mark did. I would seriously, like if you're not getting 5 or more leads a day, you should go out and start creating some of your own leads. Go watch that training and start creating leads in your business. And by creating leads, I mean actually going out and networking with people, okay? Domain credits, good question. Domain credits basically are credits for like a branded domain, right? I think it's like I've never actually used them personally. I've been here for 5 years. Have you ever used those? Domains, basically you can get domains that are forward mass that are branded with the system. I think that's what it is. So
yeah, we've got one of them loaded up in there, but you can't use them with Funnelizer yet. You can only use them with the old system campaign, not system campaigns, but the ones that you create yourself under campaign management. That's the only place you can use them.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, I just gave you guys seriously like everything that you need to really start your business on the path to 6 figures. Next year, your business should be exploding and booming. I mean, just with the content stuff and basically with setting the intentions, I'm telling you right now, writing your goals, that is golden. That's like something that you should be doing every single month, every week if you want to, but really setting those goals and making sure that they're set in stone and always be reaching to the next goal. You should always be in pursuit to the next goal. So that's nothing new.
Hey guys, really quick, the training that April was talking about that she and Mark Harbert did, if you guys go to our Facebook group, our MLSP Mastermind group,
Yeah, it's in the Files tab.
Yep, go up to the Files tab, and I actually missed this, so hopefully you guys are a lot smarter than me, because I went and looked at this, and all I saw were the scripts, and I clicked on the link on the scripts, and I was like, oh, gee, I thought there was a video, and I completely missed it, so it's right above the link for the scripts. I think my eye to the scripts one.
Don't lie to everybody. You don't look for things twice.
I don't.
She scans and moves on, and then asks me.
I'm a skimmer. But yeah, that's where that training is. So I'm definitely going to go check that out. It's something I've been interested in and tried to find it, but if it was a snake, it would have bit me. So again, Facebook group, Files, and then it says Facebook training and scripts with April Marie and Mark Harbert, and the top link is the video.
Yeah, and that's a really great video, if I must say so myself. No? But especially if you're struggling to get leads, I would say that should be part of your daily method of operation. If you haven't already, and I know I'm like a broken record, I want to make sure everybody's geared up for this next month because I love the first of the month. The first of the month is like a fresh start. It's a brand new month. Right now, you are renewed, okay? You're just a brand new, ready to hit the ground running. Everything, all the struggles, all the failures you've had in the past, they're gone. You put them on a cloud right now and you let them drift away, okay? Watch them drift away. They're gone. You are starting brand new. You've never struggled. You've never anything. And that's how it is every month for me when it's a new month. It's all brand new. It's fresh. I'm actually starting all new goals. I'm starting like a whole new. You're starting basically every month you're starting over. That's the way I look at it. Every month I'm starting over. Sure, I'm not starting completely over, but it's like new, it's all new. So just think of it that way when you're doing that. When you're writing your goals and knowing that you should be excited. When the first of the month, I always get excited about the beginning of the month. I always get excited about it. So you should be really excited about every month. So you keep Matt around to find stuff for you. Do you, April?
Well, I was about to say that, and he makes good lasagna. So.
You gotta be good for something. No. That's awesome. All right, guys. All right. So hopefully you guys are ready to hit the ground running. Let's do this. Let's rock out September. This is exciting. Really, it is. September's a great month. So let's do it, and let's have a fantastic month. You guys set those goals. If you want to, take a picture of them and post them in the group. You want to really set the intention. Put it out in the universe. Put it out in front of other people so they can hold you accountable. You want to really do that? You want to start, if you really wanted to too, you could go find an accountability partner. I'm not going to go make that part of the homework or anything like that. I've done lots of challenges like that. But I would seriously find somebody that maybe you guys can keep each other accountable if you really want to take off with this. That always is very, very helpful. And then we can just get rocking and rolling.
Yep, for sure. Also, we wanted to give a quick shout out to Samson and Tommy, who made it on the webinar tonight. So that's cool.
Welcome, guys. We're glad you made it. Tommy, sorry I got the time zone wrong. I'll make it up to you, I promise.
Yeah, but they're on. That's awesome. I thought I saw some unfamiliar people there. That's good. Good job, guys. Show up to these trainings every week. I'm telling you, they will change your life. So that's one thing I can tell you is, for myself, just showing up has really changed my life. It really changed my life. You guys, they might not know, but I was a cocktail waitress. And I mean, I'm telling you, when I tell you I was homeless, I lived in the ghetto. I was in a little 2-bedroom apartment. I was a single mom of 3. My baby was not even 2 years old. And then this industry found me, and it changed my life. Okay. I live in a 3,700 square foot house right now in Florida, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. So believe me when I tell you to show up. I'm telling you because I really care about you, and I really want to help people change their life. And I think it's something that is really, really critical to their success. So, all right. That's okay. April and Matt will help you find a picture.
Yeah, we'll get you hooked up, Samson.
You should actually do it, like a training on Gravatar training or something.
There's a ton of people that have been asking about it in the regular MLSP group I've seen. So
yeah, put it in the files tab. How to create a Gravatar.
You said ghetto.
You're all ghetto, Samson. All right, guys, we're going to see you next week. Any final thoughts? April, Matt, you're good?
No, we're good. Yeah. Thanks, April.
Thanks, everybody, for showing up tonight. We appreciate you being here, and hope you got lots of value tonight.
Yep, I love this team. Freedom Posse, let's do it.
Freedom Posse.
Woo!
Have a good one. Bye, everyone. See you next week.